Issei and the others would be led through the streets of Mount Olympus. From a distance, you wouldn't think that so much area could be covered on the mountain, but in this dimension of the Kami realm, this mountain was far larger than anything they could have ever imagined. Its top alone was the size of something close to a nation. There were houses and palaces and other places, as Hera would show them and explain the true workings of Olympus. Contrary to popular belief, Hera would say, we gods, the ones who sit on the great thrones in the halls, we are not the only ones that live here. Olympus is home to all of our family and kin, to warrior and hero alike. These homes, they are for our descendants, if they choose to reside here, of course. Powerful heroes such as Hercules, Perseus, and so on. They have made their homes for themselves here in Olympus, among others. Of course, you know of the other pantheons. They carry on in their own custom and tradition here. Off in the distance, she would point to some of the more larger buildings. For example, there was Hephaestus' blacksmith shop. There, he not only crafted weapons, but he crafted furniture and other items that they used in Olympus. Of course, Azazel, who was with the group, took note of that, as he and Hephaestus would talk from time to time. After all, Hephaestus had a thing for creating sacred gears, and he also partook in the creation of artificial sacred gears as well. So, in that front, they were able to talk shop. Of course, Issei thought that all of this was far more than the mere stories that he had heard about the gods of Olympus. Irina's not going to believe any of it, although she probably would. Wish she could have been here, Issei would think, as Irina was currently with Lord Michael attending to some other affairs in the heavenly portion of the Kami realm. As such, the great Red Dragon Empress could not make an appearance on this day. But there were other places. Athena had libraries, along with her own universities and schools for those who attended in Olympus. Azazel would quickly have his attention shifted when they came across Dionysus' winery and vineyard. The god of wine and good times would arrive to greet everyone, and Azazel and Rosvisa, this is what they were looking forward to. Dionysus, Azazel would say, you black-winged son of a gun. It's been forever if it's been a day. The two would shake hands mightily as Dionysus would cause bottles of wine to appear. Bring out the fine stuff for my good patronage. It's just going to be us this time around. I'm working with a lot of minors. Well, kids, there's no need to rush. In due time, you too will be able to dine on the fine delicacies of my winery. Azazel would tell the others to go on ahead. Rosvisa was going to be sticking around as well. It's to make sure that you don't do anything indecent. Yeah, like you're one to talk. Oh, shut up! If anything, I need this. Do you know how much stress I'm under from time to time? Seriously, running around after these kids and doing all this nonsense. Sometimes I need to just be able to let loose. I'll take a couple of glasses on the rocks, right here. Well, I see that I'm in for a downward tailspin, but, ooh. A couple of lonely single nymphs who were in the area just happened to be by, and Azazel was going to pop a collar and see if he could have some fun. Yeah, I'll let the kids handle that. It's time for Daddy Azazel to go out on the town. As Azazel and Rosvisa were off to their own devices, everyone else would continue on with Hera as she would continue to show them the various places of Olympus. There was Aphrodite, who ran a clothing store, essentially a mall, if you will. Of course, there were other shops and oddities, but she mainly catered to women's clothing, perfume, and all those other things, and lingerie, to which Rias and the other girls were especially keen on. There was Apollo Records, because Apollo was a thing for music, and he was at that stage of his life where he wanted to be as creative as possible. And on top of being the god of archery, the god of the sun, and all that other stuff, right now, the only thing Apollo wanted to do was strum a good tune and make a song for the soul. And then there was Artemis, who was a mighty hunter, and she had her own bar, tavern, and grill. So there was always a good place to eat. Everyone had something here in Olympus. Even Hermes had a delivery service that didn't just work in Olympus. No, he delivered all over. He came up with a fancy name for his delivery service. He called it Amazon. Well, at least that's what the mortals called it, although he had a whole lot of other options for what he was working with at the time, though. There was UPS, there was FedEx, anything that you mortals would know of it as, but it was more on a interdimensional level, getting things from one place to another, and it paid rather well. Of course, they would soon find themselves reaching to the main foyer of Olympus, to where the home of the main gods were, each one having their own respective residency, and even some for those who like to visit, like Demeter, or Hades, or Poseidon. Of course, they had their own abodes, but this was also a second home for them in a way. So, this is your home, Akano would say. It's lovely. Oh, I thank you, dear. I try to keep everything maintained, especially since my beloved has not been feeling well as of late. I know it must not be easy for you, Ria said. We give you our sincerest condolences. I thank you. Now, I'm going to be having some of my assistants show you to the hotel. A hotel? A few of them said. Why, yes. Olympus is a tourist attraction, my dears. It's not just a home of the gods. We have people from all over coming to visit from time to time, and I always like to treat my guests with the best of hospitality. You could say that Olympus, at least in terms that you mortals might understand, we're kind of like Disney World, or something like that, except we're actually real and we're not run by a greedy mouse. But that's besides the point. You will all be shown to your rooms and your accommodations, and I do hope that you will make yourselves feel at home. But I please ask that you arrive to our palace an hour before the banquet. Asya, he is requesting your presence, Hera would say, as she headed off for the palace along with a few of her attendants, while the others would show them to Olympus Heights, the Hotel of Olympus. There they saw people from all over. There were a couple of angels, fallen angels, devils, and other creatures of all sorts and peoples in different places, hustling and bustling and moving about. It was definitely lively. Welcome to Olympus Heights. How may I assist you today? Check in for the Grimmery family, Rias would say. Ah, yes. I'll be getting all of your keys and things in order. Your bags have already been sent to your rooms. Here are your specially made key cards. And we have complimentary breakfast, lunch, dinner, as well as all other anemones. Also, due to you being the special guest of the king and queen themselves, you'll know that everything will be put on their tab. So please, make yourself at rest and enjoy yourself in everything that we have to offer here at Olympus Heights. The boys would be taken to their room while the girls were taken to theirs. Issei was, oddly enough, being the odd one out, had a room all to himself. Looking out of the window, he could see that the sun of this realm was beginning to set, and the moon was starting to loom itself on high. As it did, the city lights were now starting to adorn all over Olympus, until it looked like it was a city of gold. He wondered from a distance what beauty it might hold. And at the same time, he felt the most relaxed he had ever been in his whole life. It was almost unsettling. When you spend your time chasing after wayward souls, evil people, fighting against soulless monsters, traveling across dimensions, fighting witches and other ghouls and goblins and everything else, things like a vacation, relaxing, all of them seem quite almost dull. Of course, Issei would never think of himself as a fighting junkie or anything like that. But at the same time, there was something about this that just felt off. Issei would hear a knock on his door as Gasper would come running in, along with Kiba. "Hey man, what's up?" "Not much. I see that you've managed to unpack and get yourself settled in. So how are you liking it so far?" "I gotta say, bed sheets that feel as soft as silk and feels like I'm sinking into a cloud. I gotta admit, it's kind of unnerving." "Well, you've been on edge for a while now. Don't you think maybe you could relax a little bit? I mean, there's no one to fight anymore." "I know," Issei would say. "And that's kind of the problem." "What are you talking about?" "Yeah, what is it, Issei?" Gasper would ask. "It's nothing. You guys would just think I'm crazy." "Come on, man, seriously. What is it?" "Well, I don't know. It felt like I had this whole destiny thing going on, you know? Not too long ago, I had the fate of the universe, worlds in the palm of my hands. What do you do when it's over?" "I see. You're like an adventurer when the story comes to an end. You don't know what to do with yourself, do you?" "I don't. I mean, I'm not technically the writer anymore. At least not officially. Technically speaking, I don't work for Lady Mephisto. I'm not at her beck and call. I don't have missions piling up my phone. I just ride around all day, and if I see an evil head, then yeah, I can bust it, but I don't have to. I feel like you don't have direction," Kiba would say. "I know what that's like. When you feel like you used to have a purpose, a meaning in your life, a reason for doing the things that you did, that all of your suffering, that all of that uncomfort, it all was for a reason. And now that it's all come to a close, you're not sure of what to do. I mean, it's not like I regret joining you guys or anything. I mean, I would have come regardless of that. But I don't know. A part of me feels like I want something to happen. And another part of me feels like I'm insane for even asking that. I don't know." "Well, Issei, take it from me," Kiba would say. "More often than not, when troubles come around, they're never easy, and they're never simple. Soon enough, you'll be begging for the boring and mundane. So, you don't need to feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders right now. Right now, everything's at peace. You're with friends. You're right where you need to be. So, just try to live in the moment, okay?" "Yeah, Don't stress out too much, Gasper would say. All right, maybe I am just letting things get to me way too much. Also, Rias picked out a tuxedo for you, for all of us. Well, not for Gasper. Yeah, I wanted to... You don't need to say, we already know. Thanks. I always feel like sometimes people are going to judge me for, liking to dress more like Koniko. It's whatever you decide to do, man. It's your business. As long as you're comfortable with it. Yeah, we have to accompany Asya, Kiba said. She's going to be meeting with Zeus. Zeus? That's right. That's why they came here. Do you really think his condition's that bad? I mean, we're talking about the Zeus. The Zeus of legend. I mean, I'm still finding it a little hard to believe that he's on the mend like this. You heard what Hermes said. Zeus has been in a lot of high-stakes fights. No matter how powerful you are in this world, eventually all of that fighting is going to wear down on you. And Zeus is always at the forefront more than anyone else. It's just hard to believe that you would live in a time period where he actually reached his limit. But don't mistake, he's still powerful. Yeah, you don't become the king of the gods for nothing. Once everyone was dressed, they would be accompanied to the palace of the gods. As they were led through the halls by the guards, they saw the murals, the paintings, depictions of Greek legend and mythology. Except this time it was how things really happened. Of course, this left everyone with more questions than answers, but before long they came to two twin doors that stood at almost 30 feet tall. The doors were pushed open into a room that was dark and dimly lit with candlelight. A large bed where Hera sat by the side of her husband. A man, an ordinary man, who looked older, tired, as if he had lived 1,000 lives. Your guests are here, dear. Thank you, Hera. You have always been good to me. But of course, my king, I live to serve you. Greetings, Lord Zeus, Rias would say, and the others as they bowed respectfully. May you live long and may you prosper. Ah, the daughter of the Grimmery family, sister to the Devil King Sir Zex. I am honored that you and your party would share in our festivity. I hope that you enjoy the beauty and the splendor of Olympus, the crown jewel of my people. Your home is wonderful, truly designed with the patience and the mastery of gods. I am honored, as are we. Asya would step forward. Hello, Lord Zeus. Zeus reached his hand out to her, and she touched it. I see her. I see her in your eyes. Who? My lord. Julia. Julia? She was your ancestor. The last mortal that I have ever been with. I see her in your eyes. Zeus's eyes would now well with tears. Julia, she was precious. Her hair that shined like yours, as if it were kissed by the sun. Eyes like dazzling emerald. A face as soft and as delicate an aura as pure as snow. Zeus would regale how, for a time, he walked about on earth. It was during a time when he was dealing with many problems on multiple fronts. He came to earth to clear his mind. Of course, for a god, more often than not, they can get lost on the path of life. For Zeus, he simply took the form of a young man and worked. That was all he did. He worked until he forgot his name, till he forgot who he truly was. He worked himself to the point where he forgot everything. And in his absence of memory, he was given bliss. At the time, he was in what would now be known as Italy, in its earlier stages. And there was a woman who was walking home from the bakery. She was dressed in a simply blue attire. Of course, for her beauty, many would think that she were average or ordinary. And yet, when he heard her voice singing a melody that brought a god to tears, Zeus found himself smitten by her. Of course, you would assume that this story was like any other, that Zeus fell in lust with a woman, that he used his charm or natural force. But no. In fact, Julia rejected him multiple times. But he never used his power to coerce her, to change her opinion, to impress her. No, he couldn't. He met a woman that he could not mess with her free will. If he were rejected, then that would be it. If he were accepted, then that would be it. Every day she walked past his home, and every day they spoke. It was the same. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Leo. Of course, conversation would ensue, and before long, Julia would smile, deny his request, and would leave. Zeus lost track of how many times he asked her. How many times had the god been reduced to his knees? How many times did he profess his undying love for her? And he was rejected every single time. Zeus, the man, no, the god that had everything you could ever want and desire, and yet the one thing he could not obtain, he refused to steal it. No, he would accept his lot in life. For so long, he continued on in this path, until one day he forgot. He forgot to greet Julia as she walked past. For whatever reason, perhaps he was too lost in his work, too lost in thought. But when he stepped out of his home the next day, Julia was waiting for him with a stern look on her face. I guess you do not love me the way you claim to. What makes you say such a thing? If you loved me, where were you? And whether in the blazing heat or in the pouring rain, you've always stood waiting for me. But yet, yesterday, I could not find you. Where were you, Leo? I was out and about. But why would it matter to you? You would have rejected me anyhow. Are my whereabouts such a concern to you? Or is the thought of never seeing me again something that eats away at your soul? What would you know about the soul? I know nothing about the soul. It's a mysterious thing, strange even. The soul is the inner desire of the person, is it not? The soul reflects what someone wants. The soul cannot lie. Words can be used to deceive many things, but yet the soul, when it speaks only the truth. Do you know what my soul says? I don't know. And that's what eats away at me. Because I want to know. I want you to tell me. Even if it hurts you, all the more. Even if it's not what you want, I have to know it. Even if it broke your heart, it breaks my heart not knowing. So many people in this world, and yet you have set your eyes on me. I know that you are no ordinary man. How? I read your soul. I do not know who or what you are, but when you called out my name, I sensed power within it, within your words, but yet you have not used them to corrupt my heart. What are you? A god? An angel? A demon? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Try me. I am a god of many gods. One hidden away from his father, who rose and saved his brothers and sisters. I am the son of time. I have fought against the earth, and my home lies in the mountains where no mortal can reach. So you are a god. What you mortals call me. A god that could have anything. And yet you won't take me? Am I not good enough for you? The opposite. Why would I ever interfere with your soul? What's stopping you? Julia would ask. You could have anyone else. Nothing would be denied to you. So why do you deny yourself? Tell me. Why do you deny yourself what you want? I take it you're not someone who's ever done that before. When I look into your eyes, I see the eyes of a man who is a conqueror. A man who never took no for an answer. That is what I see in you. And yet, slowly, your eyes have changed. What understanding have I given you? That no power can ever overcome the way of the heart. And for what I want, my power could never grant me. I could force you, I could have you, but you would never be mine. You would be mine in body, but not in spirit. Are you that greedy that you claim even my spirit? I will only claim what you give me. Even if it were just a mere scrap of bread, I would savor it for all eternity. I feel as though your words are deceiving, Julia said. How am I to believe that this is not just an act? It's not an act. Is it really? How will I know that I will not be forgotten? I will become yet another one of your conquests, forgotten to the isles of time. Then what must I do? What must I do to prove my love? Swear to me an oath that even you, proclaimed king of the gods, cannot break. I know that wherever you come from, there is someone else that waits for you, is it not? A bed that grows cold without your presence. Yet already you have broken your vow to love and to honor. But maybe I should not judge, for I am only a mortal. But I will ask this of you. I will ask this of you, a promise that you must keep, an oath that you must swear to that you cannot break. You want me in body and soul, but I must know that I will be the last. That for as long as you live, if you must live for eternity, I must be the last. The last woman you will ever feel on this planet. The last woman whose lips you will ever touch on this earth. The last woman who will ever call your name and you mine. The last woman you will ever pledge your allegiance to. I must be the last. And I will give you everything. If you want all of me, then I want all of you. And no one else can have you but me. I am human, for I am selfish. I am greedy. I want you all to myself. No one else can have you but me. You will be my last, and I will be yours. When I fade from this existence, you will never find another on this planet for as long as you live. I promise. You must swear it. I swear it. I swear it on my life. I swear it on my honor. I swear it on every ounce of spirit that makes me who I am, Julia. With you I forsake all others. The last woman that I will ever love on this earth. With my dying breath, let you be the one whom I call to. Then tell me the name of the God that wishes to love me. I am. Everyone listening to that story, within that room, the story of Zeus, the last woman he ever loved on earth, Julia. Eventually, Julia grew old. When she died, Zeus buried her at the base of Mount Olympus. He remembered it solemnly, as that was the day that Hera showed herself, and they reconciled. Of course, make no mistake about it, Hera hated all of this. This farce, this facade, Zeus going on and on about his love. But she knew what she was promised. She was promised to be the queen of the gods, that she would sit at his right hand, and he did not deny her that. Besides, he had made a promise a promise that if he broke it would mean his certain death. So for that, she was grateful. I hate this woman, Hera said. I hate everything about her. I hate the fact that you look at her in such a way. I know that for the rest of your natural life, you will look at me and you will think of her. You will take me and you will think of her. But it's a small price to pay. Are you satisfied, Hera? What is there to be satisfied about? To be satisfied that my great king thinks so little of his queen, so much so that he put stock in something that was gone in only a moment. A woman that reduced you to your knees, my king. A woman that had you begging, my king. A woman that does to you what I cannot. Tell me, what did I do to deserve that? Was I not loyal? Was I not faithful? Was I not good enough? Did I not stand by your side? For every time I wanted to stray, for every time that I thought that my heart could belong to another, you stole them away from me. In your petty jealousy, your induced rage, people destroyed because of it. And now what am I left with? A husband who will spend the remainder of eternity crying over flesh and bone. Watch how you speak. I will speak my mind. You will hold your tongue if you wish to keep it. Was it not enough that you led a rebellion against me? That you turned my children against me? You have turned them against you. I played no part in that, Zeus. Rules for thee, but not for me. Such is the way of the great Zeus. Have you ever apologized to Hephaestus for what you've done? You cripple your own children. You claim to be a loving father, and yet you allow them to die. But you know what? I am happy. I'm happy that she will be the last thing that will ever bring you back to this miserable realm. So for that, I rejoice. For that, her grave can be set in the halls of Olympus. Let her statue stand forevermore as a testament to what you are, Zeus. And what is that? What do you know about me? I gave you the throne. You gave me nothing, Zeus. Let me make this perfectly clear to you. What we had was an agreement, an oath that was bound in our souls. You were to give me your right hand, your throne. And for that, I would be your queen. And is that not what you have been? Zeus said. I have given you the right hand. I gave you Olympus. What more do you want from me? I want my husband back. I want my husband back. Or is he gone? Is he lost? Will you ever look at me the way you look at her? Will you cry for me the way you cry for her? Woman, I would destroy all of Olympus for you. Then prove it. Let her be the last. You will never return to Earth ever again. You made her a sacred vow, but you will make one to me. You will never return to Earth. Fine! For as long as I live, Hera, I swear to you, on the halls of Olympus, on the graves of our children, I swear to you, in the name of the six realms, I, Zeus, king of the gods, I will never, ever return to Earth! With that, the promise had been made, and Zeus kept his word as he never again returned to the realm of mortals. Hera would reflect on that moment. From that day forth, all until now, Zeus had kept his word. His eyes never fell upon the earth. His heart never yearned for it. Olympus became his home and where he dwelled. And for a time, peace will return to Olympus. But of course, even for Hera, for everything she had been through, despite all of the changes that Zeus had made, and despite the love that she still had for him, she could never forgive him. But these were thoughts that she would keep to herself. As Zeus gathered his strength, he would join everyone in the great hall for the banquet. Zeus's children, the gods, even Poseidon and Hades would make an appearance for their brother. For Zeus to be gathered by those whom he called family and friend, new and old alike, it warmed his heart. Dionysus providing the drink, the music was ever loud and present, the food hot and filled with love and affection. This was truly a banquet of the gods. And for Issei and the others, they had never eaten like this before. This was not 5-star cuisine, not 10-star, 20 or 30. No, this was 100 stars or more. Meat roasted so perfectly that it melted savorily in their mouth. Vegetables picked freshly, cooked to exquisite delight. Dessert, other cuisine, everything that you could ever have imagined, all for their enjoyment. Hera would then raise her glass. A toast to family, to love. Let these be only the first of many more that are to come. Let the joy that we feel here today reverberate throughout all of Olympus. Forevermore shall we. The door would open as an individual who hadn't been seen had finally made his appearance. For Zeus, he couldn't believe who was standing there across from him, dressed in green, his skin as white as snow, his hair as black as a starless night. It can't be. Yami? Hello, Father. It's so nice that you remember my name. Yami, why are you? You called all of your children. Am I not welcome? Yami said as he approached Issei. He reached for her hand, his feeling ice cold at the touch. Issei Argento, as I live and breathe, Yami would say. It is so nice to make your acquaintance. Yes. Who are... I am Yami, the god of dreams and nightmares. But needn't fret, for someone as beautiful as you. What could ever frighten you and... Hey there, pal, Issei said, as he moved and grabbed Yami's hand from Asya, locking it in a firm grip, the ice cold of Yami's hand feeling the warmth and fire of Issei's. No need for a handshake to linger now, eh, my friend? Yes. Issei Hyodo, the Ghost Rider. You've caused many people nightmares. But I wonder, what would frighten the spirit of vengeance? Well, you don't want to find out. Because if you do, you might not like the outcome. Duly noted. Well, Ares would say, feels like everyone's been filled up, eh, Pops? Gotta say, that roasted boar was something else, Artemis. Fine hunt indeed. I think it's time we work off a little steam, don't you think? Ares, Zeus would say. Come on. I'm not trying to do anything big. All I'm saying is that we just need to get a little exercise. Are we not a people that enjoy to be entertained? Ares said. And you know, since he's standing up, I think I found a good dance partner, Ares said, looking at Issei. Issei would crack a smile as he looked towards the tall and muscular man dressed in a fine three-piece suit, wearing a warrior's helmet. You've been itching for a fight ever since I got here, haven't you? Well, what can I say? I'm the god of war. If you're feeling up to it, I mean, you're not hiding behind Miss Redhead now, are you? Without a word, Issei would summon the chain of 1,000 miles, grabbing hold of a bowl of mashed potatoes before throwing them right in Ares' face. Oops, sorry about that. My hand slipped. My mother's mashed potatoes. Delicious. Would you like some gravy? I'd love it. And just like that, he had gravy on his face. Issei, Rias would say, please, apologize for what you've done. And now, Miss Grimmery, there's no need. After all, a boy among men, right? I wouldn't be able to dish it out if I can't take it. But you know, when you disrespect a man's home, you disrespect his mother's mashed potatoes and gravy, those are fighting words, my guy. I agree. So how about it? A good old exhibition, if you will. The god of war and the spirit of vengeance. We've heard about your exploits on Earth, kid. You took out that monster Blackheart. That's really good. But try throwing hands with a god. And I think you'll see that I'm not some 2-bit demon. Well, god, demon, doesn't matter. I hit you hard enough, you all fall just the same. Oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Exhibition, father. You'll do it anyway, Zeus said. Very well. You each may prepare, but you get 5 minutes and not a second more. 5 minutes. That's all I need. 5 minutes of playtime. More like 5 minutes of hell, Issei said. I like this kid. Let's see what you got, Hyodo. This concludes High School DxD Spirit of Vengeance. What if Issei was the Ghost Rider? Season 5, Part 3. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow evening as we continue with High School DxD Spirit of Vengeance. What if Issei was the Ghost Rider? Season 5, Part 4. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.